Well, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us here at the north end of the Burrard Bridge to celebrate the full reopening of the Burrard Bridge. After years of construction and restoration, the whole bridge is open now for walking, cycling, and driving. This is a major feat of engineering work to upgrade an 80-year-old bridge that saw structural improvements in 2014, and then in 2016 the beginning of these larger scale rehabilitations. I want to thank all the commuters, all the people who use the bridge for their patience in getting through this long and intense construction period. The work is done now, so the bridge will be even more functional than it has ever been before. And now we have walking and bicycling infrastructure improved for the bridge, making it safer, as well as the intersections on both sides have been completely transformed to be much safer. This intersection at Burrard and Pacific was the city's second highest crash location, so a very dangerous intersection historically in Vancouver that has been transformed for safety first, as was the intersection at Cornwall and Burrard on the south side in 2014. So both of these intersections have seen modern upgrades to improve safety. We've also now done the return of the walking sidewalk on the east side of the bridge. So there's walking pedestrian sidewalks on both sides, protected bike lanes, and the car lanes again. So everyone has a safe route across the bridge. We wanted to be sure that the upgrades integrated important protection of the heritage of the bridge and even enhancement of the bridge, which Mr. Luxton will speak to. So with respect to the lighting of the bridge, we have a few more days to work on that, but we're going to invite everyone back on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. to turn on the lights, the new lights for this bridge, which are both the combination of the heritage and some new technology that will enable us to make the bridge even more beautiful. So I just again want to thank everyone who worked hard to make this possible. It's been a long, arduous challenge over 4 years, really working on different elements of the bridge, and Jerry will get into those details, but it's returned to its former glory, and I would say even more so, more functional than ever, more beautiful than ever, and I think worth the wait. So welcome back everyone to your new Burrard Bridge. And with that, Donald Luxton to talk about the heritage of the bridge.
There were times when I didn't think this day would ever happen, so this is a fantastic event. When we first evaluated the bridge for the Vancouver Heritage Register in 1986, we scored it 95 out of 100, and the only reason it didn't get 100 out of 100 was because it was missing its original lights. I guess we're up to 100 today. This is a fantastic project for many reasons. I'll speak briefly about why it's so important as a heritage project. It's not often that we take this kind of care and attention in dealing with our historic infrastructure. It's a challenge. We have many safety and structural requirements, functional requirements to deal with, and it's often very difficult to recognize when a piece of historic infrastructure really needs to be conserved. In this case, the city was fully on board with understanding the heritage value of the bridge, with bringing back its missing elements. This, for me, is a triumph. It's very rare that we are able to pull that off, to really have a supportive client, a great design team, and a really considered and thoughtful approach when we approach the heritage value of something as important as the Burrard Bridge. This was one of the great icons of Vancouver, built in the middle of the Depression, really as a make-work project. Conceived in 1927 at the time that the city was being formed out of 3 separate municipalities, Vancouver, Point Grey, and South Vancouver. And as they came together as a city in 1929, the impetus was really to unite the city. We are a coastal city of water and need bridges. We have been defined by those extraordinary efforts in building those bridges. And in the 1930s, we reached out both north and south with the Lionsgate Bridge and with the Burrard Bridge, and they are defining parts of our history. So today is a fantastic time to celebrate the history of this bridge, the history of the City of Vancouver, and the accomplishment of bringing this back to life. I will mention just very briefly that the balustrades, the concrete balustrades on the bridge were decided from day one that we needed to replicate them, to put them back to the way they looked when the bridge opened in 1932. You'll remember that they looked kind of like they'd been sandblasted and kind of rough. That's not what they looked like originally. They deteriorated very badly. We went back to the original appearance and replicated it. We'd lost the original pedestrian lights. They were so important a part of the original character of the bridge, so designed to be part of it. We've replicated those exactly. We have repaired, we have rehabilitated, we've brought this bridge back to a strong, sturdy, and handsome appearance. I appreciate you being here today. Thank you very much.
We keep thinking about the bike lanes, we keep talking about walking and cycling and how important that is in our community, and it is. We have over 1 million bike trips over the bridge each year now. We've seen tremendous growth. But most of this work was around just reestablishing this wonderful old lady, the piece of infrastructure. The concrete had spalled, the steel was corroding, the electrical had rotted out. You know, we really needed to get in and look after the bridge. I was asked, you know, now that it's been rehabilitated, how long will it last? Well, it will last forever if we continue to rehabilitate it and do maintenance on it. Roman aqueducts and architecture and Greek architecture is still out there. Ours can be maintained and last into the future as well. So that's all I really wanted to say, because we've all been waiting long enough, and I think we all want to get on with it and open the bridge. So I think the three of us will now come back and do just that.
Great.